This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world. Our next guests on Femme House Radio are founders, DJs, and producers Coco and Breezy. They have an eyewear company worn by everyone from Alicia Keys to Beyonce to Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and Prince. They are accomplished producers, DJs, TV hosts, and co-founders of The Lorca. They are activists for everything from Black LGBTQ rights to Black children's mental health. They have performed at major music festivals and continue to grow their brand into an all-powerful 21st century brand. Welcome to Femme House Radio. How about that intro? I mean, I'm going to just air snap to that right now. First of all, you spoke to Lauren Spalding, my co-founder for Femme House.
Yes, they're very amazing. The conversation was so beautiful. Yeah.
Can I tell you that afterwards, Lauren called me and was just on cloud nine. This year has been a challenge, and what you two did was you just I hadn't seen her with that kind of self-confidence and excitement in a long time. So that was really awesome, which is my guess. I think that a lot of people probably walk away from you two feeling that way, which is a really cool. I mean, I think that's the biggest compliment you can be given. That's what it's all about.
Thank you so much. I'm receiving that. Thank you so much. We honestly just want to live life with intention in everything we do, whether it's speaking or actions, or if it's art that we put out to the world. We always have intention behind it. Always.
So cool. So are your parents this awesome? What is your background?
So our dad actually just passed away a few months ago. He's our best friend. And our dad, thank you. It's so crazy. His spirit is still with us. We're so tapped in that I feel like he's still with us. Spiritually, we've been talking to him and everything. Yeah, so. We kick it. Yeah. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that is to be that close, and my mom's already trying to mother me through her death. She's fine, she's totally alive and kicking, but she already knows how hard it's gonna be for me. Yeah. So this attitude, how is this your attitude about it?
Yeah, we've been speaking. Oh, go ahead. Well, first let me start over with our background with our dad. So our dad, I think our parents, they grew up not being as creative and not having as much freedom as us. So they chose to break the generational curse and raise us differently. And so our dad, he actually grew up during segregation, in Arkansas, and our grandma picked cotton. Yeah, he even picked cotton as a kid, and so he remembers when it was integrated, and he was able to go to an ice cream shop as a Black man for the first time. And so our dad grew up with no freedom, and then our mom, she grew up in a very strict Puerto Rican household where she didn't have the freedom to live her dreams or be creative and really show her style. And so when they raised us, they truly raised us not based off of their traumas, but they allowed Coco and I to be the free spirits that we were born into this world to be. And then fast forward, the way that we've been mourning our what's been going on with our dad is that, one, I think it's so important as people, whenever we go through anything in life, stop all work if you can, because I think that as humans, we all try to work through our problems, and we don't take time to digest them. So we didn't work for a month and a half, almost 2 months. Which is crazy. We've never done that in our whole entire life.
I mean, I have your bio here. That is mind blowing.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you're really speaking to me right now. How did you do that? How did you put that down? And also, as you put that down, what did you fill it with? Was it meditation? Was it sitting in silence? What did you do?
Yeah, it was a lot of meditation. It was sitting in silence and doing nothing. We didn't know how it felt to just do nothing. It was a lot of writing. It was speaking to a lot of different spiritual healers as well. And I think that's what helped. We actually speak to this woman. Her name is Nay. And I never believed in mediums and spiritual healers. But when I tell you, she talks to our dad and everything she says, that's coming from him sounds just like him. Like, she was telling him, or he was telling her all the stuff in our house. And she's never been to our house before, but she was like, yeah, he said that there's like a plant in this corner, there's shoes downstairs, there's a picture of him and your mom on this floor. And I was just like, yep, that's him. And I truly feel like, honestly, after he passed away, we got like an abundance of work that came to us. And I think that he's just our angel, our guardian angel. And he also told her that, because when we were younger, our dad, he's been sick since we were like 15. So we had to get our first jobs at 15 and be financial on our own and help him out. And he was telling her that he felt like he was a burden. He apologized. So now he's doing a whole bunch of work to make sure that we get all those blessings back in tenfold. And he's been doing his little thing up there on top of our ancestors too. Sorry, LP, we're deep.
This is blowing my mind. To be able to have the confidence to, I think like I work from a place of scarcity sometimes. Like if I say no to this gig, it will never come again. If I, do self-care instead of work, I'm not going to get to where I want to get. And it's like, It's all sort of fear-based. And I know that there are things that I need to take care of personally that I just don't, because I just need to keep working. So like, I almost feel like it comes from a place of confidence. Like, that it will be there when you come back to it, when you're ready to come back to it. It's just like that. To get to that place is so impressive to me. I want that so bad for my life.
It took years because we used to be very insecure and not confident. Even yesterday, I'm not going to lie, we turned down a really big money job. And that was my first time. I would think that at this point, if we would have said yes to it, we would have stretched ourselves too thin. And I think that I was proud of myself. It just kind of showed that, because we used to work off of scarcity and just off of like survivor mode. And the spiritual healer who gave us a reading told us that, because we struggled for years in New York. Yeah, and so now again we're having an abundance of things coming that we have to say no to some things, and in order to actually be realistic and stay focused on the bigger picture. Even if it's a big money thing, for me, I manifest a certain amount that I want, and so for me, even though and right now that amount is really cool, I'm manifesting this, so I know it's going to come back in tenfold, even though I said no to this thing that I actually truly don't have time for.
That is, because I always think like, I look at my schedule, I'm like, that would be really hard for me, and then I'm like, you know what, like I'll figure it out, and then it will approach, and I'll just feel like death, and like maybe cancel last minute, which is even worse, and such an unprofessional look. Man, I really want to work on that. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just a practice? Like, what? Tangibly, how did you do that?
It took a long time. I would say like 10 years of like work. Honestly, you know what? We sat down one day and we were like, okay, what are our high priority things? What are low priority things? Big goals, money generating things for the culture, and also what makes us happy?
What fuels you?
Like my worst fear is to like dislike the things that I do every day. And right now, like we're so busy, but I fucking love everything. Like it doesn't even feel like work because I love it all, but I never want to put myself in a position to hate it. So even in the middle of a crazy day, if I feel like I need a 15-minute power nap, I'm taking a power nap.
You're taking it.
And guess what I do? I kill the rest of my workday.
This confidence that's emanating from you is so badass. Just like, I know what I need and I'm going to take it. Like that is, yes, we need so much more of that. I need that. I need to see that in other women,
Yes, and I love that, and thank you for so much for saying that, because we were not confident for a really long time, so the fact that you see that means a lot. It means we actually needed to hear that from you.
Yeah. I really see that, and I am pulling from that right now, so thank you.
Thank you.
So what is your, I'm kind of obsessed with like daily schedules, and so now I really want to ask you too specifically, what is your daily schedule? Do you have a consistent flow to your day, like where you always do this thing first and like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe you'll do, like, how do you plan your days?
So I'll start my morning routine before I can even tap into work. Because with us being founders of a company, so we have employees, and then us being producers and DJs, we have just so many deadlines, and then doing a whole bunch of like core brand partnerships right now. I know that as soon as I like make myself available, that everyone needs me. So when I wake up, I meditate, I light my Palo Santo, I light an incense, I write down my manifestations, I speak to my ancestors in my head, take a shower. Even today, I tried a meditation shower where I was just like releasing all the stress, and I visualized it because I felt myself becoming overwhelmed. And I know that once I'm overwhelmed, I start procrastinating. So now I'm getting in touch with like the things that make me do these things. And then we make a smoothie. Then we eat some fruit. We cut up some fruit.
We eat a lot of fruit. We'll eat like a whole papaya, an apple, kiwi,
watermelon,
all in one setting.
A lemon, hot water with lemon, because we're plant-based. So we're practicing like also not eating packaged foods as well. Because we realize since we're so busy, we also have to energize our bodies.
And when you're so busy, though, it's so easy to eat the packaged food, especially when you're on the road and you're touring and you're like, know, backstage, it's like, shoot. Okay, keep going. This is blowing my mind.
And then from there, we like fill ourselves up with abundance. We kind of hype each other up. Like, oh, let's have a good day, blah, blah, blah.
Let's kill it.
And then boom. Then we'll start our day off sometimes, usually with our manager. He calls us with an abundance of things. I don't want to say overwhelming, but he hits us up with like, we need to do this, we need that. We need to get in the studio, blah, blah, blah. So he hits us up with everything that we need to do. And then from there, we switch off from like talking to our manager about music and then running our company because we do have employees. So a lot of times we'll, our calendar, like we depend on our calendar. So we'll go back and forth from like the other day we had a virtual studio session and we had to like take 30-minute breaks to take phone calls for like our eyewear company as well. Yep. Or we'll divide and conquer. So like a lot of times she'll like hold down the studio session. I'll hop on the call for like our eyewear company, go back and forth. Or we'll have days where last week we dedicated to only music. And then we had less calls about our eyewear.
So we kind of that's mostly because I'm a W Hotels North America music director. I run Femme House, a nonprofit, touring artist producer. So I'm struggling with like, do you try to do like a little bit of everything in the day, or do you have like, I'm just gonna work on music today and then I'm gonna do the emails and the other stuff the next day, or like how do you break it apart? Well, you have two people though. Which is
we have an amazing team, I have to say, because even for our eyewear company, it's like a team of
like 6 or 7
people, and so I think that
congrats.
Thank you. So I think what our biggest challenge was as creatives and artists and business people is to learn how to delegate, so that way we can put more time into our music.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I think we always try to make sure as leaders on that side of things that we're giving them what they want, so that way we can spend our time. That's why we were able to have a whole week of like studio last week when things were still growing.
Yeah,
people were getting shit done. But I think go ahead, Coco.
I just hired my first full-time employee, and that was extremely scary.
Yeah,
and really exciting. But I had to think in abundance more than scarcity. Like, this will help me do what I actually need to do to go to the next level. But it was really that's scary. And so you have 6 people for one. That's very impressive.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think that the big part is that whenever we bring people on, it just makes me know that like it's helping our growth.
Yeah.
And even if you're like, you might get to a point where you hire an employee and you notice that your employee might be getting paid more than you at one point. But you know what I'm saying? But in the beginning stages, that's gonna happen in the beginning. But what's happening is that you get to fully focus on the bigger picture, and you're not going to be sitting around doing like the small, minute stuff. You have your employee to do that, and you can start thinking about the big ideas and really executing all that stuff.
And do the things that like you are actually great at, as opposed to like as a person that's multi-hyphenate, like the 3 of us, we have to like also do the things that we're not necessarily great at, but someone has to do it. And we end up doing it, and that loses our minds to actually focus on the bigger picture.
Yep, absolutely. So tell me about Lorca. Am I pronouncing that right? Lorca?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to touch on that later in the interview, but I just, how did you get involved with that? That looks so amazing. How often do you get to go experience these places? And I would love to hear more about that. That was really what caught my attention.
So unfortunately, we never get to experience them because they're always booked up. I haven't stayed at one for maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. But the way we got on it was a friend of ours at the time was like, look, we have to all buy property together because the Catskills was a growing area. And I think that as creatives, when we start making money, I think some people get irresponsible and they're like, oh, I just got my first big check. I'm about to go buy all this designer, or I'm about to go do this. And my friend was like, you guys should we got like, I think we did like 2 brand campaigns for like Tommy Hilfiger and like Pandora or something. And
Congrats.
Put that money, thank you. We put that money to the side and we were like, let's partner up with some friends and buy this property. So a friend of ours, he found it. It was literally a property on, I think it's on like 3.5, 4 acres, and it was 4 houses. And so it's me, Breezy, our friend Julian, and our friend David. And David's actually one of the co-founders of Triller. The app Triller. Yeah, so he's one of the co-founders of Triller. And he, our friend Julian and David, they went to Yale together. They went to college together. And so we were like, let's all get together, gut renovate these places. So we gut renovated them. And it's been cool because, you know, during COVID, we weren't sure about how things were going to go, but we actually spiked in sales because everyone wanted to leave the city and get nature. And I think it's so important.
We expanded.
And we recently expanded to like this motel property that has like, I think 7 units.
8 units.
Or 8 units. But I think the big
a house.
Yeah, in a house too. But I think the big part for us, which I really appreciate, like our partners, Julian and David, their important part was like, you know, at the end of the day, when you think about owning property and being Black women, that's something that like we weren't able to do for years. And I think that for us, it was important to like learn, because we didn't know what we were doing, but our 2 partners did. So I appreciate them all the time for bringing us in on the project and on the investment. And then 2, you know, teaching our community about buying property. And also telling people, team up with your friends to buy property. You might not be able to afford to buy it by yourself, but gather all your friends and put your money together. You really don't need a lot of money if you gather 5 friends, 10 friends, 3 friends.
This is so awesome to hear. That's what got me so excited. That, you know, you two as women and Black women, how deeply important that is, because that is a huge way to accumulate wealth that was only allowed to a certain, you know, few people. And that is just, I think it's so cool visually that you two are doing that.
Thank you.
I just like really wanted to highlight that. I'm just so pumped about that. Yeah.
Thank you.
This might be an unfair question because everything you do seems to ultimately feed the same beast. But out of all the things that you do, what gets you the most excited?
What gets me the most excited, honestly, and this is like, you won't expect this answer, but what gets me the most excited is to be able to provide people that emotional and spiritual connection through our music, through eyewear, through like, we actually have a few different things through our property. Like we, as Coco and Breezy, as people, get to like actually feed people and actually do things to help the community.
And you've really covered all the bases to do that. You know, space, what we put on our bodies, audio. I see that really does feed the same beast.
No, it definitely does. Thank you.
What was your journey into DJing and producing?
So it was so funny how we actually started DJing. We wanted to be DJs like as young as like middle school or high school. When we were younger, we were super into dancing. And so back in the day, we would like make these little like mixtapes, but use like a cassette tape and like sit down and like record the songs off the radios. Like,
and then rewind it a little bit to get the next song, and it'll be like 30-minute mixes.
And we'll like sit there and like wait until like a certain song comes on. But
amazing.
Yeah, and then after we started our eyewear company, we're like, okay, cool, let's get our brand out, and then we'll tap into our other talents. And I remember, again, the universe works its magic, and the door opens when it's ready for you, and we always follow that. And so we got a random email from someone that said, hey, I want to book Coco and Breezy to DJ. There was nothing online that said we wanted to DJ.
But we always like practice behind the scenes and like.
But we never told anybody. And so I was just like, okay, this is our time. So we hit up one of our homegirls, DJ Martina McFly. And this is why I love women, because women always help each other. And so we're like, hey, Martina, someone hit us up about DJing. Can you teach us? And our gig is tomorrow. She was like, hell yeah. So she's like, come over. I'll teach you all. And we didn't have a DJ laptop yet. One of our other friends named Leighton, he let us use his laptop with Serato. Because, again, we didn't have time to even download music. She taught us how to DJ. And I think what got us, it was our first gig. And we told them a crazy number that you don't say for a first gig. And they said yes. And so then that gave us the confidence, because I'm pretty sure our mixes were like pots and pans, but I think the confidence to actually play in front of people it made us want to really dive into like the art and the technical side of it.
And then we practiced. We had a friend that worked at a DJ school, and we would go there every day and practice, like every single day, and he let us go there for free. I'm not gonna say the company name because they probably don't know that he was letting us go there for free.
That is so beautiful. I learned how to DJ in front of people night after night. I was asked to go on tour as a DJ, but I was in this like synth sci-fi band, and I had to figure it out on the road with Sophie Tucker, and luckily they kept allowing me back. And it really is the reason that pushed me to like really learn the skill. You know, I think if I had like an amorphous amount of time, I probably would have just like doodled indefinitely. So I think that's really cool that you also just had to get out there and do it.
Yeah. And then producing, when we were younger, again, we were always like playing around as well. And I think that I'm so excited because for us, we spent a lot of time really trying to figure out our sound. That was probably one of the most challenging things, but I'm so proud of our first single that we put out, which is Combo. And that's like the identity of our sound. And then and then we have our third single coming out soon. But I'm stoked because it took us a little bit of time to like really understand what is the Coco and Breezy sound, because we have a mix of, you know, we love R&B, we love house, we love dance, but like how do we still keep our own identity? So that's been like a really fun journey for us as well.
Absolutely. Ooh, lifelong journey, really. That's
right?
Very, very cool. Okay, so lastly, what do you like the most about the other person? Coco, what do you like the most about Breezy? Breezy, what do you like the most about Coco?
So what I like the most about Breezy is Breezy gets ish done. And also she is very assertive. She knows what she wants.
And what I love about Coco is very meticulous, like extremely. She hears things that I don't hear, and sometimes it gets annoying. But then I'm like, "Thank you so much, Coco. I appreciate you 100%." I love that about her. She's very detail oriented.
That is so beautiful. Thank you both for being a guest on Femme House Radio. It is a true honor to have you two.
Thank you.
This is LP Giobbi.
Listen up, children.
You are listening to Femme House Radio.
I said listen up, children.
On Diplo's Revolution, Sirius XM.
A wonderful night is made as much by the dancers as the music. Guided as much by the spirit of joy in the room as by the hand which reaches for the next record. Each of us has a role in tonight's experience. We all play in the band. I said, we all play in the band.
This is LP Giobbi, and I founded Femme House, a 501c3 foundation and educational platform that teaches the technical areas of music making for women, non-binary, trans, and other marginalized gender identities. Every week, I will be interviewing and spotlighting women in music while bringing you the best dance tunes from around the world.